everyone and Katribo. I am Jojo Silvestre.
And I'm Dina Ventura.
And welcome to Spotlight, a weekly show featuring top personalities in lifestyle entertainment and today, good governance.
Yes.
Today we have a very special guest. Special because he's certainly very outstanding. I've known him for a long time, actually, although it's an on and off thing, kind of friendship. Our guest served as a three-termer mayor of Iloilo City from 2001 to 2010 and was voted president of the League of Cities of the Philippines from 2004 to 2007, of which he also became chairman from 2007 to 2010. His leadership ushered BPO boom with Iloilo City as the next wave city in terms of economic development. And the Nagyang Festival, which is held there every January, graduated to the Hall of Fame as the best tourism event in the Philippines during the time that he was mayor. The first 3 terms, no? Terms. So. He also fostered active and strong public-private partnerships, which have been recognized by the Asian Development Bank's Best Practice Award on Government-Private Sector NGO Cooperation in 2006. He then served 3 straight terms in the 15th to 17th Congress before he came back as mayor in July 2019. May I present to you Mayor Jerry Treñas. Kamusta po, Mayor?
Good afternoon, Jojo and Dina.
Good afternoon.
I have known Jojo since I was in the city council. That was a few years ago.
A few years ago. I like that.
Mayor, hindi na po tayo magpapaligoy-ligoy. Anyway, we feel that you've really come a long way, no? And people always talk about you, about the good things that have happened in Iloilo all these years. And I haven't been back there for a long time. Sir, ang issue ngayon is of course the pandemic, and a number one concern ng ating mga mamamayan ay education. So how is the government coping with the issues of education under a pandemic situation? Ano po ba?
Jojo, education is very important, and Iloilo City has some funds coming from our special education fund, which we are going to use for additional connectivity for our schools. At the same time, we will be providing for the modular education. Modular education can also be expensive because we will have to prepare the modules for X number of students and for X number of subjects and X number of years. So we will do our best to come up with the requirements. Just yesterday, we have approved a supplemental budget for the consumables needed in the amount of, I think, 42 million pesos. No? But we know that this is not enough. We will have to look for additional funds when the need arises.
Sir, what do you mean consumables? Ano po yun?
Paper, the ink of the risograph machines, the drums, and all the others needed. No? And considering that we have a lot of students in Iloilo is known to be an educational center, and students coming from the other municipalities even go to the schools in Iloilo City.
Opo. So ano po yan? Ang learning ho ba ay sa classroom or online?
Both online and modular.
Hindi pala ibig sabihin nun.
Magbigay tayo ng mga modules, no?
Okay.
Isang subject, X number of pages needed per module.
Oh,
Tapos ito, ibibigay natin sa mga estudyante.
okay.
Supposing anong subject? Math, no?
Oo.
Isang subject math. You need a module consisting of 20 pages. Then you reproduce that to the X number of students for the year, no?
Opo.
So that will be a lot. That's why a lot will be needed. Initially, there's a rough estimate of about 320 million that will be needed
Hmm.
for the whole. So we're trying to look for a way
Opo.
where the modules will be redistributed to the other students so that we will not have to spend so much.
Opo. Yeah,
Mm.
that's very good. For
Oo
our
nga.
kids now
Yes,
need to go back to
education.
school,
Of
whether
course,
they're
whatever
right there
happens,
or
education talaga.
yeah.
Pero Mayor, of course, another big concern, major concern for everybody is health. So in your city po, what measures have you undertaken to keep everybody safe and healthy?
First of all, we have gone on mass testing. Uh, Yesterday, Secretary Carlito Galvez was here together with Mayor Benji Magalong for contact tracing. And it was presented that here in Region 6, we have tested a total of about 3.26% of the total population, compared to the national average of only 2%. Uh, Compared to all the other LGUs in Western Visayas, Iloilo City has done more testing compared to the others. We are in the process of constructing our own uh,
Testing facility?
laboratory. And we will also come up with our isolation center. At the moment, we have several schools which we are using as isolation and quarantine centers. For our hospital, we are using one of the closed hospital, which is housing about 42 asymptomatic patients. For the LSIs, we have prepared a total of 500 quarantine beds. And we continue to receive LSIs. But for OFWs, it is OWA that takes care of them. And OFWs are housed in the different hotels of Iloilo City. At least, during this time, they continue to have some business with the OFWs.
Okay po, Mayor. Thank you for that. Of course po when the pandemic hit and everybody was quarantined, what were the immediate actions that you took as mayor to protect your city?
Kaya mababa
Oo,
yung
kaya
rate nila
how
eh.
did you manage to maintain it at that good levels lang?
Oo.
Manageable levels of infection.
Well,
Sekreto nyo.
what we did immediately when Manila was on lockdown, we also placed Iloilo City on lockdown, no? Even if the lockdown was only in the NCR. And after that, we made sure that there was food assistance that was given to all the people in the barangays. Aside from that, the food assistance in the form of rice, canned goods, there were 240 community kitchens all over the city. And they were cooking for lunch and dinner. And there is a saying in Iloilo that while people in the NCR were asking when they were going to receive the amelioration assistance from the national government.
Mhm.
Here in Iloilo City, the Ilonggos were asking what was the menu for today. Food was ready.
Heavy.
Okay, sir. So baka Jojo kaya sila natawag na Wakanda kasi nag-isolate agad sila.
We'll find out. We'll
Yes.
find out. Huh? Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Mayor, ah, isa sa mga issues ngayon ng Kwan, balik probinsya. Are you expecting a lot of people from the metropolis to go home to Iloilo? Pati ho yung mga OFW. Kumusta po ba so far?
So far, manageable. We have never stopped receiving locally stranded Ilonggos.
Okay.
And we only try to make sure that the results of the RT-PCR tests are out immediately. As soon as they are arrived to in Iloilo, we bring them to our quarantine areas and immediately schedule them for swabbing. We have 29 medtechs who are trained to do the swabbing. We have also 8 of these medtechs already trained for the RT-PCR testing once our laboratory is online. And once the results are out, we allow them to already go back to their houses and finish their 14-day quarantine in their houses.
So, walang problema doon sa mga
Oo.
balik
Balik
probinsya.
That's very good. So, of course, pretty soon kapag naging okay na yung sitwasyon, maybe tourism will also come back or,
Yeah.
reopen for Iloilo, which is one of the top tourist destinations of the country. So, Mayor, what is the current situation there now since wala talagang pwedeng pumasok na mga turista, affected yung industriya, and then so ano po yung expectations ninyo? When do you expect the tourists to come back again? Pero bago nyo po yan sagutin po, Mayor, mag-break po muna tayo. We'll come back after a short break.
Nais po naming humingi ng paumanhin sa anumang pag-aalalang na idulot ng ating bills ngayong Mayo at Hunyo. Di po namin inasahan ang naging hirap para sa ating lahat dulot ng COVID-19 pandemic.
Pero nakapagbasa na kami ng Metro, kaya ang May at June bills ay may actual meter reading na ng inyong konsumo. Ito ay maaaring bayaran ng installment depende sa inyong konsumo noong February 2020. Kung wala sa bahay o sarado ang shop noong ECQ, makikita ang adjustment sa inyong bills ng Mayo o Hunyo. Kung nabayaran na ang inyong estimated March at April bills, pwede itong i-refund sa aming business centers or i-apply sa susunod na bills. Para naman sa mga di nakatanggap ng bill noong Mayo, huwag pong mabigla kung mataas ang ating bill sa Hunyo dahil sakop nito ang inyong nakonsumo noong ECQ. Pero para makagaan, 1/4 lang muna nito ang kailangan bayaran. Ang balanse, pwedeng i-installment.
At good news, bumaba ang overall electricity rates ng 2 centavos per kilowatt hour ngayong Hunyo. 2 buwan nang magkasunod ang pagbaba ng rates. Hanggang sa susunod na Meralco Advisory.
Ikaw ba ay may pack na cooking skills at bonggang-bonggang level of singing performance? Kung oo, baka ikaw na ang hinahanap na Phoenix Super LPG Calderoque Royalty. Para sumali, sundin lamang ang nasa website ng Phoenix Super LPG Calderoque at i-upload ang inyong best video na kumakanta habang nagluluto. I-like at i-follow ang Phoenix Super LPG page, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Sarap pala magluto! Sali na!
We're back with Mayor Treñas of Iloilo City. So, Mayor, maybe you can tell us more about the tourism prospects for Iloilo after this pandemic.
You know, last year, I think it was late October, Iloilo City was launched as a MICE destination. Meetings, incentives, conventions, events. And
Covered that.
the Secretary of Tourism was here. Senator Drilon was here. travel agencies all over the country were here to showcase Iloilo to all the travel agencies. And several events were already scheduled here in Iloilo City. Unfortunately, this thing happened. We are starting slowly to have live events already, and we are making use of our virtual events for our artists. No? But we have started already live events, and slowly, I think we will recover. No? We have to just make sure that all the minimum health protocols and standards are maintained by our tourist hotels and other events. No? We have a very nice convention center here in Iloilo, and we have hosted quite a number of important events like the APEC and other conventions.
Mayor, in that connection, ano po, kasi nga, culture and tourism are connected.
Yeah.
Especially, Iloilo is a cultural destination. Magagandang yung mga old houses, churches. And then they have this festival also that people go to, the Dinagyang. Ano po ba ito? As far as I know, ang Dinagyang is a whole year-round preparation thing. Ano po? So tuloy-tuloy lang ba ang inyong cultural activities? And how are you taking care of your heritage structures?
We are very strong when it comes to the heritage structures.
Okay.
And all the old buildings, the old houses are maintained. And there is Iloilo Cultural Heritage Council, which approves all plans for renovations of all structures which are identified by the council.
Okay.
And even the city will have to go through the council when we have some preservation efforts with some of our buildings. I would like to invite you to visit Iloilo next time when the pandemic is over, because you will really enjoy all the houses and the old buildings.
And the food.
And the food. Well, the food.
The people, very friendly.
The bak choy,
Yeah.
the pas bak choy, the pancit molo,
Yeah.
and the restaurants along the beach.
And all the
takoys and-
biscuits.
So we have so much to offer once we finish with this pandemic.
Eh, Mayor, yung pong Dinagyang, tuloy ba? Just in case tapos ng pandemic.
Sa ngayon, we are looking at virtual Dinagyang. But just in case this pandemic will end before January, then we proceed. But we are preparing for a virtual Dinagyang.
Oh,
Wow, that's something to look
yeah,
forward to.
that's something different naman. Ano?
So, Mayor, what about naman your family life? Tell us about your wife, Mrs.
Oo.
Rosalie.
Masipag yan.
Masipag. Kilala mo din siya, so?
Yeah, of course. That's how I met the Mayor. Because of Mom Rosalie.
Parang, how is she helping you?
Si Jojo, kilala niya ang family ko eh.
Wow.
Even my father-in-law.
Yeah, the Sarabias. Rosalie Treñas is a Sarabia.
I
Yeah.
see.
My wife helped during the lockdown. She used her commissary to produce about 2,000 meals every day
Wow.
for I think 2 months and a half.
Wow.
For all the frontliners. This means that you have the PNP, the BFP, the Army, the city health nurses and medtechs, and also the health personnel in our hospitals. So they produce a lot of meals for 45 days, 2,000 meals, both for lunch and dinner. And my daughter was also very much involved. She was in charge of the community kitchen. 240 community kitchen. I think they produce almost 3 million meals for all the Ilonggos. And my son, my youngest son, who is running our bakery, got all the bakery association, and those who are members of the association of the bakeries to get together and produce the Ilonggo Pandesal. They give out a total of 3,500,000 pandesals to the Ilonggos. Kaya wala nagugutom dito ng lockdown na Jojo.
Dapat pala nandyan tayo, Jojo, ano?
Kakapit lang. No, everywhere. Whether you are close to the mayor or not, meron lang pandesal, ano, or the food.
What is Iloilo Pandesal po, Mayor? Anong kaibahan niya sa...
So, tawag yan Iloilo Pandesal, and everyone was asking for Pandesal with their breakfast.
It must be good.
Yes.
We better go there.
Check it out.
So, how is Mrs. Treñas? Ano po?
My daughter got all the artists, painters, and sculptors together, and had an art for a cause. No, they were able to get, I think, a total of almost 197 artists.
Wow.
They
Malaki ang...
donated paintings, sculptures, and they were able to raise about 3 million.
Wow.
And part of that went to the salaries of sewers, who produced a total of 300,000 face masks, which were given out to the population. And now we continue. We use the funds of the city to pay the sewers. I think we have a total of 60. They continue to produce face masks, and we continue to give out face masks all over the city.
What's your daughter's name? Ang galing.
My daughter is Raisa.
Raisa. Ang galing naman.
So the mayor has 2 daughters and a son.
Eh, ilang anak niyo, Mayor? 6?
5.
5.
Okay.
So, Raisa, what does Raisa do outside of helping you?
Raisa is also helping out in our bakery. She's not part of the city, but
Tumulong lang talaga.
tumulong lang sila. They're volunteers
Galing naman.
Opo.
Parang very...
for their very important father.
Yeah.
Parang very strong po yung community, sense of community in your city, Mayor. So maybe it really has something to do with the way their family shows support for each other. No? Galing
That's
na
right.
naman.
Saka sa art, Jojo at sa Dina, we have a total of 29 murals all over the city.
Wow.
These are walls of buildings. Some are fences, which are painted by the local artists.
Ang galing, ha?
Yeah.
Naku, sana matapos na ang pandemic.
Para makita na natin. Mayor, baka pwede po kayo magpadala ng litrato.
I'll ask them.
Virtual.
Yes, we will. We'll send you pictures of the pandesal, the community kitchen,
Yes.
also the murals. No?
Thank you po. Sige po.
Yeah. Eh di, samahan nyo na rin ang biskotso. Ay, bawal yun. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Sana batchoy, no?
Oo, sarap nun ngayon. Lamig ang panahon.
Oo nga.
Ikaw. So, but
The children of
speaking of
Iloilo.
the children of Iloilo, the women of Iloilo naman,
No, we're done with the women, di ba?
we are.
Oo, so,
Sure.
ang mga children po, I mean, children in general, ano po ang mga program ninyo doon? Or sa education lang ba? Or paano po ang nutrition ng mga bata and all that? And
You,
Sa children, we already have approved budgets for, I think, 10 daycare centers, which will be air conditioned, equipped with the kitchen, and convenience of children. No? And some of them have already been started with the construction. We want to start early in the daycare so that we make sure that when they go out to the regular schools, we make sure that they are also well taken care of. We make sure that there is good nutrition and immunization. Even during the lockdown, Jojo,
opo,
we gave out milk for not for infants because that is not allowed under the law, but for the children, so that even during the lockdown, their nutrition is not forgotten. We work very closely with the private sector. Private sector donated a lot of support in terms of PPEs and test kits coming from South Korea, and we also got support from all sectors. No, I was surprised. Even my political opponents were contributing for Iloilo. You know, I think this pandemic has clearly shown that for the good of the city and for the good of the Ilonggos, people will come together and help. And if government is transparent, and if government has a clear direction, I think people will come forward to help out.
yeah,
walang namolitika.
good.
Pero in that connection,
Church.
kumusta kaya ang relationship between mayor and the church? But before you answer that, Mayor, let's pause for a break.
In the days ahead, we need to lean on the values that make us a great company, the Malasakit, for which we are known, and the understanding that, as San Miguel, we stand for something far greater than ourselves. That we have responsibility to extend a hand to those who most need it. It is our sense of duty and obligation, pagkakaisa and malasakit, that will see us through these difficult times.
We're back with Mayor Treñas of Iloilo. So Mayor, kumusta po ang relationship ninyo with the Catholic Church? Okay naman po ba?
During the lockdown, we were looking for quarantine areas for our PNP who had to man the checkpoints, and also for the Army. There were AFP personnel who were also assigned to Iloilo City, being a regional center. We talked with the church, and the church allowed us to use one of their schools, Payus, as the dormitory for the PNP. And for the army, we were allowed to use a portion of the seminary. So we had the PNP and the army using church facilities during the lockdown. So we are very close with the church.
Pala, maayos pala. Wala palang issues doon.
Mukhang mababait nga talaga yung
Mga Ilonggo.
Ilonggo, yes. My dad is from there. You know that.
Woo!
No. Kaya mabait ka. So, Mayor, tell us naman po about yourself. What made you enter politics? I hear that you had a good law practice before you tama ba?
Yeah,
Before
yeah,
you
yeah.
ran for
He was a top lawyer.
position. You were at
Number 11 sa bar.
Sa bar, wow.
Atinista.
So smart.
Kalaban mo, UP ka, di ba?
Yeah.
Hindi ko naman abogado.
Hindi naman.
I was in student politics even from high school, no. So in high school I was president of the council. College I was president of the council. College of Law I was president of the council.
Tapos siya ng senador.
So much so that when I got here in Iloilo, during the time of the EDSA revolution, I joined the Cory Aquino for President movement, got appointed in the city council, and it came naturally. I was in the council for 9 years, and I ran for mayor. First time I lost. The next time I won, and then since 2001 I was mayor. It came naturally, and I enjoy working with people and making sure that life is a little better.
I see. So, Mayor po yung Treñas family, is it, are there a lot of politicians in your family or lawyers?
There's a lot of lawyers, but the last politician was my grandfather, was Senator of the Republic of the Philippines. But that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yesterday lang yun.
Pero your father was a commissioner?
Commissioner of the Constitutional Commission that drafted the 1987 Constitution.
Yeah. Okay. So, Mayor, kumusta po ang direction ng Iloilo? Ano ba ang balak niyo, whether may pandemic or none? And now that there's this pandemic, how are you coping with the situation? And ano ang inyong foresight?
Plans.
Paano ba? May naantala ba? All that? Or you're really moving forward no matter what?
We have to move forward, Jojo and Dina. No? People need jobs. We cannot continue. We cannot forever feed our people. We have to make sure that there are employment available. Business has to go on. We know that as we open up the economy, there will be more and more who will be turning positive, especially if we test some more. We find out other people are positive. But we only have to make sure that first, we follow all the minimum health standards. Second, we make sure that we can do contact tracing at the earliest possible time. And third, we make sure that we can test and we can get the results at the earliest possible time. because even if we have testing centers, if we do not get results immediately, we will not be able to isolate those whom we have already tested. And that is why in two of the barangays in Iloilo, we have a temporary lockdown just so that we can swab, take specimen, and wait for the results to come out.
Mayor, before we ask you to give your final message and for this afternoon, can you tell us more about the role of Mrs. Treñas? Um, ano ba siya? Basta nasa kwan lang behind your back, or is she actively helping sa community?
Rosalie has been very active with the women.
Opo.
She was able to organize, I think, 20,000 women. We call them the Blue Angels for Our Lady. We organized the Blue Angels, came up with the training program for them, so that they will be able to have some livelihood that they can provide also for their families. Rosalie is very involved. Now she is involved with some women also to help out Ilonggo products. No? So they go even up to Guimaras so that they can look for the products and help them market these products. Because during these times, we really have to work together so that we can also help our population.
Mayor, yung ano niyo po, I think part of the reason that Iloilo has been so a little bit cautioned by this pandemic is the way you run the city. So parang in that sense, you're like the father of the city, di ba? So what kind of leadership po ba yung style ninyo? And why is it po that Iloilo is being called the Wakanda of
Yeah.
of the Visayas?
Of
Tama
the
ba?
Philippines.
Of the Philippines. Ano po yung ano niyon? Ano po yung kwento diyan?
Oo nga.
Well, we can see it from the cooperation of everyone. We have seen that people work together here. We have seen how big businessmen coming from Iloilo have contributed a lot just to make sure that we will have the test kits, the PPEs during the time when PPEs were short. We were able to produce our own PPEs in Iloilo and make sure that our health personnel are safe. I want to say that here in Iloilo City, there was no doctor or nurse or health personnel who got affected, infected, and was died because of COVID-19. We made sure that the health system would be fully protected so that it will be there to help us out. And even during this time, I continue to meet with the hospital administrators and even the doctors, so that we can talk about how we can attend to this problem. Giorgio, Dina, this pandemic is a health issue. The enemy is the virus. It is not the people.
Nga naman.
Because I believe that we need science and the doctors to attend to the problems of this pandemic. I am very thankful for the support of the armed forces and the PNP, but with respect to this problem, it is a health issue, and we need the support of the doctors.
Oh. Ano pong kwan kayo ngayon, level sa quarantine? Are you open already or
And
We are under MGCQ.
modified?
very,
Maluwag.
yeah.
That's for maluwag.
And I would like to inform you, Jojo and Dina, that Mega World and SM already informed me that they will be opening their cinemas.
Oh,
Wow.
basta may social distance lang.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, good. Oh. Mabuti naman. So, economic-wise, are you back in just as before, or you're gradually?
I think gradually we are uh, going back, but it will take some time. I am even embarking on some infrastructure projects like rehabilitation and restoration of our plazas,
Yeah.
our markets. We are going to build a city hospital for the Ilonggos and other infrastructure projects.
With these cell sites, it affords us better cooperation and communication with the outside world. Because it is vital for FU and RMF to have this. We are now dependent on this cellular signal, and it has helped us a lot. Connectivity is not a problem because we allowed these cell sites to prevail and to be on our roof deck and our helipad. Hindi tayo mawalan ng signal sa lahat ng rooms namin dahil may cell site tayo sa taas. It's one of our major advantages. I think that's the greatest decision that I was a part of, because if not, we would probably be in a worse case right now. I'm thankful that we allowed these cell sites to be installed. I'd like to think and hope that all hospitals have that. We have not had any case of cancer regarding cell sites. As a matter of fact, we employ many cell sites and many boosters inside the hospital. For us, it has saved lives. I think with this new normal, we have realized that we are more dependent on this technology. Cell sites, if not connectivity, are a must.
Araneta City, home to the country's first indoor shopping mall, the world's original Thrilla, and the first ever Bini Bini pageant. Now a place for your first win, your first catch, your first home, your first big break, your first date, and even your first love. Araneta City, the city of firsts.
everyone. We're back. We had a computer glitch the last time. That's why ngayon ibang outfits namin. But we're continuing. We're moving towards the end of the interview. So the mayor was telling us about yung kung ano ang ginagawa nila to combat the effects of the pandemic. Ano. Now, I've read about something that was written about Iloilo City. It's called Wakanda daw. Mayor, how did this come about? Why is it called Wakanda?
Well, especially during the ECQ,
Apo.
during the ECQ, all the Ilonggos followed all protocols. No one went out of their houses. Uh, PPEs were being sewn by Ilonggos sewers. Some of them were even nurses in some of the hospitals here. So that PPEs will be provided to all the medical health personnel. No? During the ACQ, when there were cases already in Iloilo City, not one of the medical health personnel were infected. It is only now during these times when everyone started to go easy on the protocols when some of the health personnel were already affected. Also, everyone was helping out. During the first week when the city was still trying to get all the resources available to purchase the rice, the food assistance, and even food for the community kitchen, rich businessmen from Iloilo donated rice, chicken, canned goods that supported the whole population of Iloilo City in the meantime. And as I have mentioned, even my political opponents help out during this time. No? And I think what the Ilonggos felt was that the Ilonggos were united in fighting this COVID-19. And we did not have a hard time trying to get the cooperation of the Ilonggos to follow the health protocols at the same time. We never requested for donations, but donations were outpouring.
Galing.
It's very inspiring po to know that these things are working out for Iloilo. So it seems to me that working relationships are also very smooth in your province. So Mayor, ano po, kumusta naman po ang relationship ninyo with the governor, Governor Art Defensor? What are your areas of collaboration?
With respect to Governor Art Defensor, we have been working very closely. All protocols we have coordinated even from the time before we declared an ECQ here in the city and the province. Before we called for stricter quarantine measures here in the city and the province, we called for a meeting of all the governors of Region 6, especially the governors of Panay. And, it was very cordial, and we all came up with one idea to come up with one Panay or one Western Visayas program. And up to now, we continue to meet each other through Zoom or last week when Secretary Galvez was here, we met face to face and talk about our problems so that solutions can be found.
Okay. Mayor, gwapo pa rin ba si Governor Art?
Yes.
Oh, kasi I used to see him in UP.
Nag-lockdown ang Kapitolyo ngayon because may isang empleyado na nag-positive.
Oh,
Mayor,
okay.
you're so successful, ha? Ano po, where would you attribute yung inyong galing sa pagiging public servant.
Leader.
Ano ba yan? Saan nyo ba namana yan? Ano ba? Sa pagbabasa nyo ba? Or saan po?
Well, I have always believed that governance is a shared responsibility. Uh, the problem of governance is not only a problem of the governors. It is a shared responsibility between the governors and the governed, and that is the reason why we have always worked very closely with the private-public partnership. We do it not only with the business sector, but all the other sectors, the jeepneys, the sidewalk vendors, the urban poor, and the business sector always stay with us, especially when there are problems like this.
Yun pala.
Mayor, how are you naman po as a legislator? How would you describe your
Kumusta naman? Ano nagawa ninyo nung kayo ay
leadership?
representative?
Yes.
When I was in Congress, I was successful in converting 8 roads to national roads. No, I also was able to have one law which declared Haro Cathedral, Molo Church, the Iloilo City Central Business District, Fort San Pedro, Haro Plaza Complex, Molo Plaza Complex, Plaza Libertad Complex as cultural heritage tourism zone, which required CHESA, the Department of Tourism, to put in funds for the renovation and reconstruction of the same. No? I was able to pass an act which increased the number of plantilla positions for the West Visayas State University Hospital. I also was able to convert West Visayas College of Science and Technology into the city of Iloilo State University, known as Iloilo State University. Also, I was one of the primary authors for graphic health warnings in all packs of tobacco of cigarettes. No? I was also one of the primary authors of the mandatory PhilHealth coverage of all senior citizens. And finally, there is this mandatory installation of speed limiters on all public utility vehicles. Among others, no? There are other laws which I was the primary author of.
That's so nice.
Mayor, kung sakali po at hindi nangyari ang pandemic, what would you be doing now? Ano po ang priorities nyo sana, minus the pandemic?
You know, I already had identified a surplus of about 400 million plus. No?
Wow.
And I was thinking of already having the legislative building, the command center for disaster, improvement of plazas and public markets, among others. No? And now what happened is that we used some of the funds for COVID, for food assistance, etc. So we have a very much lower amount which we are going to use for these projects. No? We were gearing for programs for tourism and MICE, no? Meetings, incentive, convention, and events. And, what can we do during this time? We feel that the virus is here to stay. We have to live with it, and we follow the minimum health standards. And eventually, I think there will still be time for us to pursue all of this.
Oo nga. So, So Mayor, does that mean po that you're going to redo your plans for the city? Like, how would you envision Iloilo, let's say 10 years from now, which is when you would have completed your 3 terms?
Well, first of all, I would like Iloilo to be one of the most livable city in the Philippines. No, hopefully among the three most livable city in the Philippines. We will continue to push for Iloilo to be a destination. We are pushing Iloilo to be a MICE destination because if we push for this and all the tourism infrastructure like the hotels, the convention center, and the rest, we will have employment opportunities here in Iloilo City. And we want Iloilo to continue to remain resilient. No? Iloilo, I think, has been one of the most resilient cities all over the Philippines. And we want to go on with this. And I think one trait that Iloilo can bring to the rest of the country is our very strong bayanihan spirit, no? And our strong sense of care for our fellow men, as shown by the outpouring and overwhelming support that we have seen during this pandemic.
Opo.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Mayor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much po. So, we can still look forward to that because matatapos na rin ang pandemic, hopefully. Ano po. So, we can envision more or less in agreement with the
Yes.
mayor of Iloilo, Mayor Treñas. Mayor, we're winding up. So, ano po ba ang inyong message, hindi lamang po sa mga Ilonggo, kundi sa buong country po, sa kapwa ninyo Pilipino? What would you like to tell them?
For the Ilonggos, I think we will have to continue to work stronger. During the past few days, especially during last week, we have seen a spike in the number of cases. We have to continue to make sure that we follow all the medical health protocols. No? And for the Filipinos, I think this is really the time for us to continue to work together and to be united as a people. We have never encountered a problem like this during our generation, and I think it is really about time that we forget that we are Ilonggos or we are Tagalogs or we are from Mindanao. We are all Filipinos, and the only way that the country can move forward is for all of us to work together.
Ganda.
Salamat po. That was a wonderful interview with Mayor
Mayor
Treñas of Iloilo, Jerry Treñas of Iloilo. Maraming salamat po,
Thank you
Mayor.
po, Mayor. And
Thank you, and mayong hapon sa tanan.
Opo. Hi to Ma'am Rosalie po.
Yes, Jojo.
Opo.
And my best regards.
Opo, thank you po. So that has been Spotlight today. I am Jojo Silvestre.
and Dina Ventura.
We
Thank you
say
very
thank you
much.
so much. Till the next Spotlight.
Catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition and press reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS users and Google Play for Android users to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber Katribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarcito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just click on the link in this video to join. Catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition and press reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS users and Google Play for Android users to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber Katribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarcito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just click on the link in this video to join.